who's had such a good year. The senior with 6 scores for her. And, of course, Samantha Hilsey making her 16th start. She started every game so far that she has played in with those 5 goals. And we'll also see up front Sophia Dillon. That is one of those I know you talked about, Riley, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Dillon kind of interchangeable with Abby McCarter, but Dillon gets the call this evening. Lauren Mahoney, a midfielder, a freshman from Brookline, Massachusetts, wears number 12. Defensively, we'll see Caroline Moore getting the call, wearing number 22, and then Daniel Darius, the senior from Lutz, Florida, wears number 18. Nikki Batt, she's in there all the time, the senior from Ashburn, Virginia, wearing number 2. Lily Dresner will wear number 23. She's got a score so far, the sophomore who can swing up and down from the defensive area to the midfield, and Paige Santee wears number 16. And, of course, in goal, the stalwart senior is having a great year, over 80% on her save percentage. That's Danny Staffen wearing number 0. So there's your starting lineups. And, I mean, any thoughts on that McCarter and the Dillon kind of back and forth? I know both seniors, both can play up front, both can attack.
I think against a team like Carnegie Mellon that is known for their physicality, I think Sophia Dillon's a good call because she has that body to man up on those aggressive Carnegie Mellon players.
So just about set for action. Carnegie Mellon in black, trimmed across the shoulders with, it looks like, silver. Of course, Emory in their home whites. And don't let the shorts fool you. It is cold out there. This is probably the coldest it has been in Atlanta since March.
It definitely is. This is the first day I've turned my heat on. So it's about low or high 40s and rainy.
And you're dressed appropriately. You got the leggings, the long sleeves, the vest. You're ready to go.
My fuzzy
in this
socks. I brought gloves just in case I get cold. We've got the window open up here, so I just came prepared.
And as everybody likes to break out those winter clothes, we're underway. And we will see it first taken by Carnegie Mellon. And so they'll go into the attack with Tolmer right away.
That was just masterful there by Danielle Darius. She kind of scissored and took the ball away at the same time. I'm not really sure how she did it, but it was pretty impressive.
Throw in right in front of Darius. It's been a stout defense, too, for the Eagles. They've, had that starting lineup. We talk about Darius, Batt, Dresner, and Santee across the back. That has been kind of one of those that they've gone with most of the season. All of them have started, except Darius missed 1 start, but everybody else has started all 15 matches.
Yeah, and Danielle, I think that was for an injury. She's really been a key player in the defense. She's physical, she's fast, and she has that extra experience this summer from playing in the U21 World Cup.
They were looking to get it to Brooke. Instead, Darius will head it back in the direction of the Eagles, and they'll look to try to get their attack going, as they've not really had anything in the attacking third as of yet, mostly back on defense. We'll have this throw in from Darius and the Eagles on the near side.
So here we see Emory trying to play out of the back. We've talked about it being difficult with these field conditions, so we'll see how that goes. The ball's going to move slowly now on the pitch since it's not raining anymore, so everyone's going to need to weight their ball appropriately.
Do you find it more as though it's headed back by the defense of Emory that they have to go through the air, or do you still try to go on the ground on passes when it's this slow?
I think ideally in a perfect world it just takes some extra work by the center midfielders to be able to play those shorter passes to make sure that the accuracy is improved and the weighting isn't quite as important. Getting lost on a short ball on the defense is usually a really big mistake.
Short hop on the throw-in went to Sophia Dillon, taken away, though, quickly by Carnegie Mellon. The Tartans now on the run, trying to swing it over to the far side. They'll send it through Ramsey, and now on that far side wing, they'll attack, trying to get it into the box. Let's see what they can do. Nicely ridden out on the end line, but it'll set up the first corner for the Tartans.
I have a feeling this backside run by Carnegie Mellon's outside midfielder is going to be something to watch. It looks like that is their go-to play and what they feel most comfortable attacking with.
Trying to see who's going to take that corner out there. Even through the binoculars, it was kind of hard, because that'll be headed back over.
We've got this glare here.
Yeah, headed back over the crossbars. So hard to tell who it was. We'll see if we can do that again. They'll actually switch out players.
Wow, I don't even see their numbers on the Coast Girls.
Well, right now with the glare, your guess is as good as mine. So it will be a new player to take it for the Tartans on that far side. There's a little bit of a low one, nicely taken there by Emory. And of course, we talked so much throughout the year of Danny Staffen has been so good. She is that senior goalkeeper. The consistency in goals just so important.
Yeah, she's really grown from her freshman year, and it's incredible to see how skilled she is and how confident now she is in the goal. She's been great to watch, especially with her feet, and her decision-making has been top-notch.
Well, one thing we've not seen so far from the Eagles has really been much of an offensive attack. The defense has been tested, and granted we're in the early going, not even 5 minutes in here, but as Darius will receive it again, one of those where you'd like to see Emory start getting it a little bit more of an attack going. They went through Mahoney, and they'll swing it over to the far side.
I think the slow field is going to be a big disadvantage for Emory because they like to play on the ground so much. I'm really curious to see how they adapt and how they change their play a little bit to make this work for them.
Now an attack for Carnegie Mellon. Brooke on the run. Brooke into the box, and she'll swing it into the side of the net. Staffen let it go. Well, she was double teamed, was Kaylee Brooke, with those 4 scores on the year, the senior from Glenville, Illinois. And it was not a solid look. Good defense by Emory to force off that shot a little bit too quick.
No, one of Emory's strengths this year has really been winning the ball in the midfield, and here we're not seeing that so far, and that's why I think they're getting stuck in their own defensive third.
Bill Schindler and Riley Doak with you. We thank you for joining us here on this Friday evening. There's a foul called on Carnegie Mellon and a free kick for the Eagles. And it's been an interesting year. Like we said, 1-2-1 in conference for the Eagles, but 10-4 overall with that one tie. And they've had a fairly good October as well. They've only had 1 loss. They did have a tie this month. But other than that, they have only had that 1 setback. Looking to finish off the month strong. They do have 1 more home match. That's Senior Day coming up on Sunday.
Here's Emory soccer we like to see. These 1-2 passes is what makes them successful and opens up space for them in their attacking third to make some plays. And I don't even know where I'm going with this. It really opens up space for them.
Now they hope they know where they're going offensively, striking, but instead taken away by Carnegie Mellon. Tartans will watch Emory fall back on defense. They'll have a throw-in their direction. You get the feeling, Riley, like this is going to be one of those 1-0, 2-1 matches, probably low scoring. We'd be surprised if anybody puts a 3 up on the scoreboard this evening. I at least would be.
I definitely agree with that. I think this is going to be a hard-fought game, and it's going to come down to who wants it more.
Into the middle of the pitch. So far, the attacks have all gone Carnegie Mellon's way. Loose ball, trying to get to it. Finally, the Eagles do. Nice play by Sophia Dillon. Gets it back to Darius. Lifts it in the air, but into space, and only the defense there for Carnegie Mellon. It was to Emily Tolmer.
And here we see the momentum of the game shifting a little bit to be more even. When we started off, Carnegie Mellon really had the momentum behind the ball. And the difference, I think, is Emory starting to win those balls in the midfield again.
Again, the defense solid, but forcing the issue again is Brooke. She'll wait for it to come down just a little bit outside the box, swings it back out to this near side wing. Now trying to attack. Here comes Carnegie Mellon, and again it'll go off the end line, but it's off of an attacker, and so a goal kick for the Eagles. So they've had success primarily from this near side and from the wing.
Yeah, they have that speed there, and that ball's been weighted perfectly every single time for their offensive player to run onto.
Looked like it was Derstowitz who touched it last. It has been a combination of Brooke and Derstowitz taking the attack for Carnegie Mellon, the Tartans. We'll see if Emory could get some offensive possession. Dillon has been around the ball, at least forcing the issue when it has gotten back to the back line of the Tartans, but successfully they have cleared it each time. A throw in for the Eagles. They'll go a little bit negative here and then play it forward through their defense and through their keeper. So Staffen will have it at the moment at 37:05 and ticking before going back out to the outside wing and then getting it right back.
It almost looks like Coach Struble said, they play around in the back, let them. That's not dangerous. They're not forcing that at all.
Dillon had it, lost it off the near side, was trying to work it to this near side, and Caroline Moore, sophomore from Marlborough, Massachusetts. We have very Massachusetts-like weather here tonight.
They might disagree.
Well, I would also like to see, probably her parents are conflicted tonight. Probably watching the debate between watching their daughter play or the World Series.
Oh.
Just gonna assume maybe Red Sox fans up there in Massachusetts.
They're probably streaming both.
Side by
Two
side.
screens going on.
iPad and laptop on the other.
The question is who gets the laptop in that scenario.
It'll be a throw-in for the Eagles and Danielle Darius, senior from Lutz, Florida, went to Steinbrenner High School in the greater Tampa area. Nice ball into the attacking third. Is a little at pace, though. So they tried to get it, looked like Dillon on that breakaway, and just a little too strong for her to track down. And we'll have the first time I think we're going to see Caroline Botts get a touch on it, the keeper for the Tartans.
Yeah, that last ball has been a struggle so far, and I know we're only 5 minutes in, so it's hard to say that. But that last ball to the forwards has been something that's been lacking so far in Emory Eagles' game.
Talked about Botts. She is now a sophomore from St. Louis, and she had such a good year last year, and it's been a bit of a struggle since. Now, the Tartans on the run. Ramsey with it. Ramsey a little give and go down to the box on this near side. Trying to clean it up. That looks like it is Brooke crossing it, and again too deep. She's tried that twice, and both times has found the side of the net.
This outside runner is going to be interesting to watch because I'm not really sure where she's coming from, if Danielle's dropping in to help out or if Carrie Moore is not tracking back.
Talked about Botts on the other side. We'll continue that thought in a moment as Darius wrapped up, marking her player right here on the near side. And finally, that'll be lost out of bounds off the Eagles' foot. Last touch by Hilsey. Throw in for the Tartans. And they'll gain real estate, letting her go down for the throw in here. Farther and farther. A little bit of a swing and a miss there for the Eagles. And they'll lose it off the line again as Moore had it. Ball in space. Always one of those dangerous plays. Hilsey around it though. Now on the run. Let's see. Here's Moore. Moore lost it. Back on the midfield. They'll play it back to the far side. So this is one of the times we get to see the defense of the Tartans forcing the issue. The Eagles as it got back to Botts. Moore again on this near side wing, and it's knocked out off of her. Throw in again for Carnegie Mellon. Ball loose on the field. He's got two, so they'll have to whistle that as it got off the side of the track, it looked like, away from the young lady who's making sure everything's dry out there with the ball, and that is a tall order this evening. So finally we get it. Reset. Darius with a nice little touch here to the near side. Emory trying to at least get something going. Looking over there. For the moment, they were looking like Mahoney could get involved, but instead goes back to Carnegie Mellon. A little back and forth. Lou, and deep into the box and off the end line.
It's a close offsides call there. I wasn't sure he was going to make it.
Yeah, the flag went up on that far side. Just a step. It was close.
If he hadn't called it, I wouldn't have faulted him for it. That's how close it was.
Yeah, Lou, a pass off to an attacker. I think that might have been Derstowitz. Trying to see who that was. Either way, offsides for Carnegie Mellon.
Carnegie Mellon seems to be operating with two up top, but with three midfielders who then crash as soon as the ball comes forward. They're really getting their numbers forward when they have the ball. It's making it difficult for Emory to play out of the back like they want to.
We tick down to about the 32-minute mark. We're still scoreless. If you're just tuning in so far, Carnegie Mellon has really controlled most of this match. Went off of a Emory player, and now she is down. Trying to see who that is. Is that Dylan, perhaps, that went down? Trainer having a look. We'll get you that number in just a moment as she is doubled over on the far side of the pitch. All right, now the clock frozen at 31:55. Like we said, it has been, for the most part, Carnegie Mellon in control. They've had a few shots fired off, nothing spectacular, but we haven't really seen the Eagles press the issue offensively. And we talked about the struggles for Carnegie Mellon coming into the match, at least in conference. They've only scored 2 goals in the entire conference schedule in their 4 matches, but they have been in close matches.
They have, and they've had some tough opponents. Emory and Carnegie Mellon both have played WashU and Chicago, who are both highly, highly ranked teams. It's hard to say that they're struggling in conference play when they're also playing against top caliber teams.
Player down is actually Nikki Batt, number 2. Batt now will get up, the senior from Ashburn, Virginia, who's one of the 5 Eagles from last season. Played all 18 matches and has been so good in that backfield. No goals, but an assist and 5 shots on the year. And Carnegie Mellon in their last match actually played fairly well. They controlled the tempo for most of it, but lost 1-0. And you kind of get the feeling like it's playing out the same way in some regards, as the Eagles will have a chance to clear it now. Foul called on the outside. So far, the 2 shots have been taken for Carnegie Mellon, none for the Eagles so far. Still waiting to see if they can get something going on the attack. Falling back more now. Moore took it away for the moment, trying to get it back to Dillon. Looks to the middle, trying to get it to Hilsey. Hilsey passes to her left.
Oh, good ball.
Nice ball into the box, far side, and that's ricocheted off of a defender and down that far side sideline. Do they keep it in bounds? No, but it will be off of a Tartan. So the Eagles have the advantage. They'll look for somebody to at least come over to get a little help there. It looks like Hilsey's coming over, and then they'll swing it back.
I think good news, too. Emory only has 9 players on the pitch that I've counted. I've recounted like 10 times to make sure I'm correct. So I think that means that they're anticipating that Nikki Batt will be back in the game. In the first half, they're not able to sub a player back in once they've been subbed out. So I think they're just waiting on Nikki to make sure she's all right.
Which again means that, yes, the injury's not that bad, or at least they feel that way. And that's always good. You know when they take somebody out and you're on the bench, then that is one of those things that it's questionable if they're going to return. Or they at least think it will be something that will take them through halftime. On far side, lost, still in the direction, though, of the Tartans. Tartans will have that throw in. Under half an hour here in the first half. Off the end line, that's going to set up another corner. So we've had 2 corners from that far side. We'll have a third for Carnegie Mellon. I think it might be Camille Williams to take it over there. To go short either way. Trying to flick it in, loose ball, dangerous, lifted in the air and finally knocked away before it got to Staffen. Still controlled here, though, by the Tartans.
Handball. There we are.
They finally call it.
Don't think Carrie heard the whistle there. She kept playing.
Yeah, very delayed reaction on that one. But you're right, that was a clear handball.
An integral handball to the game.
Some of those, I mean, it's a debate with the handballs. It's you got to call it. Sometimes they'll say, well, it was incidental.
Right.
Although on most handballs, I would say they were mostly all incidental.
Oh, I don't like that ball.
That was a dangerous pass. Darius smartly played it back outside. Yeah, you put that in the middle there, you're just going to ask him for trouble if things go wrong. Well, so far, at least, I'll say this as it goes all the way back to Staffen. The field has not been as much of a factor, at least slippage-wise, as maybe we thought coming in. We saw the men actually slip a good deal in their first match, and that hasn't been the case of a foul here.
It seems like the mud has thickened up on the women here, and so when the men were playing, it had just rained. The field was wet. Now it's kind of dried a little bit, and it's just sticky, sticky mud.
Sophia Dillon was fouled. Caroline Moore will take the free kick. Swing it back over to that far side wing. The Eagles looking for something to get in the box. It's headed back out, though. And now at least they can try to keep it on the defensive side for the Tartans. Dresner played it back forward.
Carnegie Mellon's playing a really high pressure style of defense, and that's making it really difficult for Emory to get into their groove and play how they want to play. So good for them for doing that. It'll be interesting to see how Emory adapts.
That looked like it could have been called a handball. Was not. Darius lifts it back in the air. Loose, trying to track it down. Hilsey got a touch on it. Will go back out to her teammate on the far side. Challenged right at the center stripe. And as Darius looks to collect it outside here, Darius has some trouble a little bit with that footing and lost it off of the end line. They'll say it was off of Emory. So the Tartans with a quick throw in. I believe that was Williams with the throw in.
And that's Nikki Batt back in with the header, so that's good news.
I was going to say it looked like she slipped back in there, but you were right. They didn't make that substitution to hopefully get her back out. And that was, what, maybe 2 minutes? Wasn't that long. 2-3 minutes she was off the pitch.
Wasn't bad. I'm sure it felt longer for those playing with 9 on the field.
26-10 and ticking in the first half. We are still scoreless. In fact, really haven't had that many shots. Only 2 officially so far. For both sides combined, they've both gone to the Tartans in the box, and it'll slip through the Staffen, an easy one for her to stop with her right foot.
That was good work by Danielle. She forced her to her left foot to make sure that she couldn't use that favored foot, and then saw her opportunity to make that sliding tackle.
Sue Patberg, who has been a stalwart here as the head coach, for offense to get going instead of be played back through the defense of the Tartans. Stifled in the midfield. Emory trying to take it away. Back on that far side. Looks like Bat gets a big boot into it. It'll skip, though, by Moore into space, trying to track it down. Carnegie Mellon will play it back to their keeper. Moore presses the issue and played off by the keeper in Bots. And a throw in for the Eagles and Darius. So now the Eagles a chance to attack. And let's see if they can get their first shot off. Darius into space over the head of Moore. It'll go to a back who will play it forward for the Tartans. Looked like Ramsey got it, Stephanie Ramsey, and it'll roll all the way back out. We'll have a foul and a free kick here for Carnegie Mellon. So still no shots for the Eagles. How hard is it, Riley, to play in cold weather? I mean, we have that double-edged sword. I know it can get really hot here in Georgia. And when you start the beginning of the season, you see a lot of cramping. And
Right.
the conditioning's a factor. But then it gets cold, and everybody complains about the cold weather. So what do you favor, hot or cold?
Really depends on the player. For me, I preferred hot, but I was in the minority up in Cleveland. I'm not sure what the players here used to the Georgia weather feel, but I think that Carnegie Mellon may have an advantage because they've seen this weather a lot longer than we have.
Moore tried to break through, couldn't do so, and now it'll go back to Darius. Yeah, for Cleveland, this is nothing.
In theory, this is nothing, no. In Cleveland, if I dress the way I am right now, I'd get made fun of.
Moore got it taken away. Yeah, there's a little bit of lake effect snow that Atlanta does not get.
Not at all. I actually prefer to drive in blizzards than I do hard rain, so that says a little bit about where I learned to drive.
Dillon back to Darius. Back through that solid defense. Paige Santee gets a touch before swinging over to the far side and Bat. Trying to make a move, can't do so. Bat let that pass a little too far, lost off the far side sideline. Throw in again for the Tartans. Well, Pittsburgh, where the Tartans are from, and Carnegie Mellon, is also not an area that is known for warmth in the wintertime.
Less lake effect, but definitely close to on par with weather.
It's not Cleveland, but it's cold.
It's a little better than Cleveland, but still very cold.
Let loose in the midfield. Again, the Eagles can't get that sustained attack. Trying to get it through Hilsey there. They'll force it now back through the keeper. Botts, as we said, that sophomore, she last year was ECAC D3 Rookie of the Year. And actually Division III Defensive Player of the Year. She had that great season. And this year, 15 goals against and 24 saves. She does have 3 shutouts, but those numbers have really gone down a bit. I mean, some of that, and look, we will say this, some of it has to do, if your offense is struggling as a keeper or a defender, the pressure gets put more and more on you.
For sure. I mean, if your offense doesn't have the ball, then the other team does. So she definitely probably has had to make more plays than other people who have a lot of goals to their names.
Ball's in the action. We'll have some substitutes here. See if we can catch who they are. It looks like at least for the Eagles, we're going to see Lindsey Brescow coming in, the freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee, for the first time.
I've just checked. It's actually raining in Pittsburgh now, so they're doing a little bit better in Atlanta still.
Oh, see? There you go. You make us feel better then. Riley Doak with your weather on the fives. We tick toward the 21-minute mark as right now still no score. Still sitting at 2 shots taken by the Tartans. The Eagles have yet to fire off a shot. You know, I mean, it's interesting. We talked about how low scoring it is, and you do your research and you look at what they've done in the past, and this does not look like a team that has only scored 2 goals in conference. They have controlled the ball very well, have the Tartans, but yet to find the back of the net.
I'm wondering if they haven't changed their formation knowing how Emory plays. This high-pressure game is not sustainable week in and week out. It's exhausting. And so I wonder if they're creating more opportunities than normal if they have added more people forward.
Sue Patberg making sure that the throw-in was back to where it was supposed to be. Carnegie Mellon taking a little bit of advantage there geographically, and a long ball that went through into space and nobody was available. So it'll be a goal kick off the end line, and Danny Staffen will be called upon to do so. Staffen, speaking of goalkeepers, the senior from Bridgewater, New Jersey, and 11 goals against. She's had 96 saves. That .807 percentage, very good. 2 shutouts for her.
When you think about those 96 saves, too, some of Emory's games haven't been close. She maybe had 1, maybe none, maybe 2. So that's a lot of saves in some games. She's been a key player for Emory this year.
Imagine Chu as a keeper has tripped up in the midfield, and they'll play on, no whistle called. Emory now looking here on the near side. Caroline Moore on the run. Let's see what Moore can do. Nice little crosser, but that's shifted away at the last moment before it could get over, and it will go off of the near side sideline just by a hair. So it'll be a throw in instead of the corner, and Darius come up to do so.
I like the idea, though, by Carrie Moore. She knew exactly who she wanted to play the ball to. She knew who was in a better position than she was, and she tried it.
So Darius almost to the flag. We'll have that throw in. Nice throw, gets into the box, although ricocheted back out, and they'll go to Darius. Big cross into the box, headed out by the solid defense of Carnegie Mellon. Back into space. as the Eagles again trying to corral it, trying to go backwards. Can't do so. Pinball back and forth. Loose ball. Finally played over here to the near side. Darius will force the issue. Nicely played forward. Off of Hilsey. Played off of her chest, but finally coming away with it are the Tartans, and they'll swing it out to the far side wing and try to attack again. Emory trying to get the numbers back as they'll force it down that far side. Looked like Ramsey played off of the end line, and we're going to have another corner for Carnegie Mellon. It'll be the 4th of the evening.
Is it number 8?
Looked like number 16. That's who it is. Taylor Camerata, sophomore from Cary, North Carolina. So Camerata will take it. And a tough ball. Stefan parries it over the crossbar. Beautiful play.
That's a tough save to make. That's a split-second reaction time by Danny Staffen.
That would have been certainly a goal if she didn't parry it right over. And I mean, that's also taking a chance. There's no play other than having your confidence to maybe catch it. But you're dealing with just a matter of inches that she had that clearance. Near side corner. See, Carnegie Mellon will take Emory Knoll, the junior from Matthews, North Carolina, to take it. And into the box, backside, and finally into the hands of Staffen. Well, 5 corners so far at the 17-minute mark, and they've all been, at least those last 2, hold your breath, and Staffen with an easier save that time. But let me tell you what, that save that was over the crossbar, Riley, was a beauty.
That, I thought for sure that ball was in. I don't know how Danny was able to make that reaction so quickly, but I'm glad she was.
Trying to get it into the box, again rejected by the defense of Carnegie Mellon. But the Eagles still making progress. They go to Caroline Moore. Moore with a big cross from this near side, getting a right-footed boot into it. One of the defenders looked like Emily Tolmer got it. Tolmer's been playing pretty well back there. Solid defense this evening, but the Eagles tripped up there on the far side, and they're going to have a nice free kick.
It's a good spot for a free kick. That's for sure. You never want it in the center. It's a really tough angle to work with. The only thing you really can do is put it on goal or pass it off to the side.
Well, it gives you a chance to stack a little bit, or if you've got a sure-footed young lady to take the kick, you can always put it on goal too. I think Paige Santee taking it into the box and flipped out off the foot of Bat. Back loose, trying to corral it. Played forward here.
Oh, I kind of like this.
Now toward the box finally. Putting a stop to it is Bots.
You almost wonder if she just hadn't kicked it a little harder.
Looking too, I think Faniff might have gotten a little piece of it there, and Faniff is at the center line and pushed away there. Bat had it, but I think Faniff called actually for the foul when she was trying for that ball in the center line. I want to correct something on the staff, and I said, that's my bad. That's my bad handwriting in there. I said 96 saves. It's 46 saves.
Either way. Still think about the games, yeah.
It's still a good year. It would have been a very impressive year with 96 saves.
The fact of the matter is I believed you. So she's really taken a lot of shots into the goal.
That is one of those things where we were giving her a lot of credit. I think, we'll round up. We were rounding up very high.
50-point bonus.
It's like the daily double. On the run, here's Moore. Moore had numbers in front of her, but she does pull it back nicely, but finally taken away. She was trying to get that crosser, not a bad move. Faniff playing it over, couldn't connect there.
This Carnegie Mellon team has a lot of speed that I'm not sure Emory's used to dealing with. Not very often do you see Carrie Moore lose a foot race.
Carnegie Mellon has, I will say this, it seems to have at least in my impression, outperform their record.
It seems so. I'm really surprised the record doesn't seem to reflect how things go. So I'm really hoping that they give up some dumb free kicks, give up some set pieces. I wonder if that's really how they've gone out.
And we'll see. It's still 0-0. More tripped up. They'll play on. Darius, the safety valve, comes up. Make sure that it doesn't cross midfield till she does so voluntarily. As they swing it back through. Dresner. And now in the middle of the pitch, I believe that's Santee. Back to Darius, and they'll play that triangle on the defense. Bad on the far side. Left foot. Trying to cross it to Moore.
Oh, that ankle's bothering her.
You see that limp. Well spotted by you.
In the last game, I believe, she ended up spraining her ankle at the end. So I was hoping that wouldn't be a factor tonight. It seems like after some 2 tough tackles, she's feeling it.
Moore, I mean, moving okay, but you're right. If you look, Riley, you can see that little limp is starting to get a little bit noticeable.
She'll push through as much as she can. I don't think it'll be herself taking some time for her injury. It'll be Sue's decision.
Again, trying to lead Moore and let her a little bit too far, went over her head. But now, loose ball, foot race. Moore trying to track it down, has position. As now she's marked by a defender, trying to play it back. There was nobody there, though. Played it off with the left foot into space, and again, the defense clamps down.
If she holds that ball there, if she just bodies up, she's going to get fouled. It's easier for me to say when that's not happening to me. Who knows? There's a little bit of risk of injury there, but it's an easy way. These defenders are going in hard.
Well, we'll see Abby McCarter for the first time this evening. She'll finally come into the match. We talked about how sometimes she is switched in and out. And McCarter, senior from Charlotte, with 4 goals, 3 assists, 11 points for her so far this year. She's done it pretty efficiently, too, when you've got 4 goals on 18 shots.
Ooh, this isn't good.
Off of Santee's thigh. Bat trying to track it down, and Bat over to the far side. See if they can finally get free here. So we tick down to 11 minutes till the half. We're still scoreless. And a match that is eerily similar to the last played, as McCarter will get it by the Tartans. They lost 1-0, but controlled the match most of the time. And actually, Emory would love to have that happen. Hey, controlled most of the time, doesn't matter. It's a 1-0 win.
Right.
And that's where Emory's hoping maybe this will go. Here on the near side. Finally through and free. Let's see what Emory can do. They are on sides, taken away, though, at the last moment.
Great choice to cut it there. Just unfortunate it didn't work out.
So we have throw in. Moore a little frustrated down there. And coming back over, the McCarter to give it to Darius. Loose in space, back outside. See what they can do as they'll swing it back in, and finally picked up there by the keeper. As it was Bell, who we've not talked about much. He's played on that far side wing, and she's had a quiet evening.
No, I'm sure she was in their Tartan scouting report. I'm sure they're trying to make her not a factor. She is such a weapon with her speed and her left foot over there.
And that's really the first shot she has had, the opportunity.
And now they should find her.
Now on the run, 2 defenders will close it down and scissor right in front.
I haven't been looking at her, honestly. I'm not sure if she's been open or if they've been shutting her down.
It's Caroline Kolski who just entered the match, who was trying to go inside there. Kolski, again, the closest, the junior from Miami, Florida. Yeah, Bell has played primarily on that far side. We've not seen much of an attack on that far side wing from Emory. Well, we haven't seen much of an attack, period, but it's come mostly on this near side wing.
Yeah, Shivani is usually a huge name that we say over and over again. I'm really curious now. I'm going to start paying attention as to why we haven't seen so much of her.
Well, it looks like they're going to go over to Bell. So as soon as she started getting that ball, we'll see if she can make a move.
She heard us.
Crosser, and that's over the head of the keeper. Loose ball in space. Can Emory capitalize again? Loose and set free as Bresco had a momentary touch, but back Bat will play it in the air, lifting it again into the space where Bell would occupy. And now Bell ahead or back. Off on that wing, they're going to try to give it to Shivani again. She had that hat trick last time out. Played off the end line. We're going to have a corner.
Glad we're seeing more of Shivani now.
I mean, it seems like we had not called her name at all. And of course, there's 3 shots now for the Eagles. There have been none for the longest time.
No, they're subbing her.
Yeah. So as soon as we get Bell involved in the match, we say adios, at least for the moment.
Probably giving her a little rest for the next half.
We go to the bench with Rena to come in. That's off of the crossbar and then ricocheted out. I think that ricocheted down and out. I have no idea how that carom did not go in.
Yeah, that's really frustrating to see when you're a player on the field and you're not the one who headed the ball, because it hit her in the head. It's hard to see how that went up rather than forward.
Wow.
Third best opportunity of the game there.
Well, Bots and the Tartans really dodge a bullet.
2 bullets. You never want to see that ball go over your goalie's head.
Kind of reminiscent of the one Staffen punched over the crossbar on the other side.
Right. Better execution on the Tartan end in that case.
Yeah, that one, though, I think that hit the crossbar, and yikes. Well, let's see. Emory, though, the good news, showing a lot of signs of life here offensively as we hit the 6.5-minute mark till the half. Could they perhaps go up 1-0 before we get to the break?
I would love that. That would make all the difference in the world in this game.
Their best scorer right now on the bench, and a flag is up. Offsides go the Eagles here on the near side.
Offsides means you have a quick attack forward, though. I hate that it was called, but I'm glad to see that Emory is making some moves forward.
Now the Eagles, and that was Bat, it looked like, it was playing up from the near side. I checked that. That was actually McCarter, I should say. I don't think Bat that much of a striker. It was McCarter. As soon as you turned around, we saw the 1. But it's nice, and it looks like a much different team in the last, 6 minutes or so.
It's much more enjoyable to watch as an Eagles fan now. I'm hoping that they can carry the momentum through halftime and keep it going. Get on the board, keep some possession, and call it a day.
This will be something I think Sue Patberg will look at, whatever has flipped for them. And the clock will stop. And we're going to have a Eagle player going over to the sideline. Caroline Kolski will run over. I'm not sure exactly if she had a cut or whatever it is.
I know, I was looking to see if there's a card, if she had earrings or something. It was really surprising. Looks like her knee's bleeding, maybe.
Yeah, so that's going to be what it is. And so they stop the clock. They might have to go to the bench here.
It's too bad. That was a great throw-in.
The Eagles will go to the bench. They will bring in Molly Miller, freshman from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, south of Jacksonville, home of the PGA offices, if you're a golf fan.
I'm not, but that's great.
And TPC Sawgrass. None of that with meaning to you, apparently, but that's...
Not a thing.
Okay. It's a good tournament in May. Players' Championship. Not bad. Right now we're under 5 minutes, though, here. It's still scoreless between these two, Carnegie Mellon and Emory. And the Eagles, though, have looked like a much different squad from what we saw earlier. It was a bit slow, a bit on their back heels. Now they've got a little bit of a punching chance, and they'll look to get back on offense here as Brescal was fed by Darius. And they'll put it into space, but nobody home. Closest player to it for the Eagles, it looked like there was Hilsey. Darius, solid player on this wing. She is tripped up, though, as she sent it away. And it'll be out of bounds, but they'll call a foul before it went out, and rightfully called. Dresner, long ball to the middle of the pitch.
That ball surprised everyone, even Emory's players.
Well, she played it perhaps maybe too fast. It helps if you surprise the defense, but unfortunately couldn't get her own players back, as Bat will watch it roll out on that far side sideline and have a throw in.
She knew who she picked out for that ball. That player did not.
Connect right on the communication, and now Emory will swing it back through their keeper and Staffen. All of a sudden, we talked about how Carnegie Mellon had all these shots, or at least the shots that they had. There were not a ton of them, but they sit at 3, and we look up, and officially, Emory now has 4. And so how things have changed.
It's going to be interesting. Going into halftime, Carnegie Mellon's not going to be happy with their stats, and Emory's not going to be happy with their play. So 2 reverse talks are going to be happening, I think, at halftime.
Let's put it this way. I think whatever side you're on, they're going to get a stern talking to by the coaching staff.
I'm hoping they work out to what's happening in the defense with the players coming forward. It looks like Carnegie Mellon may have dropped off the pressure a little bit. I don't know if they got tired or if they've been told to knock it off, but it's given Emory a lot more room to play.
Here come the Eagles. They've got a chance now on that outside. Fighting for it for the end line. Let's see here.
It's a battle. And it's a corner.
Emory's going to take the corner. They're going to send over. It looks like McCarter. So McCarter's going to take that corner. It will be in swinger with a right foot from that far side.
Emory scored on corners plenty of times, so these are good opportunities for Emory to get.
Out in front, nicely placed. Skips past, though, Santee, who plays it now back.
Oh.
A little bit of miscommunication, comes back here to the middle. Trying again to play it forward.
I hate that ball. I hate that ball right into all the pressure. Play that down the line, have your player run forward. Worst case scenario, it goes out for a throw-in.
Brescal was trying to get it back in. We're under 2 minutes here in the first half of play. Still no score, but if you were just tuning in and you missed the beginning of this match, it was really all the Tartans for quite some time, for at least maybe most of this first half. But the Eagles have somehow flipped the switch, and things have started to go their way. Here's McCarter on the near side, off of her foot. Having to backtrack and get it is Brescal. Played it back through the middle. Hilsey had a touch. And now, again, Brescal.
They need to find that player wide. Here we go.
We saw Bell on that far side wing. She's out now. The ironic part is she started to get going a little bit. They took her out, and that's when we saw everybody kind of change. And maybe it has to do, Riley, with the defensive philosophy. They were so keyed in on Shivani Bell that maybe that changed things as soon as she exited.
I think that's a good guess. I think they know that she's a huge playmaker for Emory, so once they didn't have that target and this purpose that they had, I think they kind of got a little confused who to look out for next. And the good news is Emory does have that depth, so the answer is everyone.
Long ball by Brescal, just trying to put it somewhere close to the frame, and that was well wide and high. Brescal, freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee. Team captain as a senior year up there. So the young lady from St. Louis, Caroline Botts, will take it. Goes through everyone, it seems, before finally Carnegie Mellon will come away with it. Bat trying to defend, gets her body in front there before playing it back to Dresner. Loose ball. And again, Emory solidly getting some good physical play, and they'll be fouled and have a free kick. Bat on the far side. And that will run us out of time. So, The Eagles and the Tartans still scoreless at the half, but Riley, it has looked like a different Eagles squad in the last, 15 minutes or so.
It's a totally different game we're watching than the one that started, so I'm really excited for the second half. I was really kind of watching the clock tick down before. Emory's been doing a great job with the possession, with getting creative in the offensive third. They've been able to hold the ball up top and keep possession up top, so it's been a much better game in the last half of that half if you're an Eagles fan.
So Sue Padberg and Jan Struble have a talk with their players. We'll step away. We'll be back in about 14 minutes or so with the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. Bill Schindler along with Riley Doak with you as we get you back from halftime. Still no score. And right now, as we look at this match between the Eagles and the Tartans, just give you the quick numbers here. Shots by period, Emory actually had nil for a while, but now they lead 5-3. Corners have gone the way of Carnegie Mellon, 5-2. Saves only, they've only credited one save so far for either side. I would believe that's the Danny Staffen save, 1-0 for Emory on saves fouls, 3-2 Carnegie Mellon. So as we get back to play, first impressions from that first half, Riley.
So Emory left the half with the momentum. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue that. Carnegie Mellon's pressure up top seemed to have lapsed a little bit, and that gave Emory the room they needed to move the ball around and be creative in their attacking third. Here we see Carnegie Mellon with a good opportunity, a good build forward.
And nice stop there by the Eagles and Staffen. Carter looked like she was coming up to cut that off on the crosser. Still got through, though. Bat plays it forward. And back again off of this Carnegie Mellon offense. So Maddie Liu with a touch. Liu, freshman from Baskin Ridge, New Jersey, mechanical engineering major. One thing I have to say, going through the roster of Carnegie Mellon, they have some of the best majors I have seen of anyone. Most diverse set of majors. There's a neuroscience major in Kaylee Brook, which is well beyond my pay grade.
I think Danielle Darius might be neuroscience as well. She's in the sciences. Nikki Batt.
Well, both smart schools. I mean, these.
I'm ready to fight.
Also, Sydney Weber might have been my favorite too. Professional writing major.
Interesting.
I think, first of all, see, that's when you know you're a professional writer. Usually you just say it would be a journalism major.
Right.
But see, a professional writer, that makes it sound a lot better.
I wonder if that's like really good at writing emails or really good at more like to be a magazine writer.
Or a novelist. I don't know.
It just keeps you guessing.
By the way,
all of the above.
If you heard that in the background, there was women's basketball. I'm told earlier they were having their practice, so you might have picked up some of those noise. We're right by the gym as that's headed out off the end line. And it'll be a goal kick for the Eagles after the sixth corner of the evening for Carnegie Mellon. But if you heard some background noise, women's basketball practice was happening for a while behind us. At least that has quieted down, but there's still some people playing in the gym behind us, so bear with us, although that might shut down here in the next few minutes. So the Eagles. Let's see. Brescow had it for the moment, and now as it will be played forward, trying to get it to Faniff. She's also had a quiet evening. We've not really talked most about Faniff or Bell, which have been the two big offensive scorers so far this year for the Eagles. They have not gotten involved. It'll go past Faniff, and that'll be taken away by the center back.
It almost looks like they've put Maddie up top, which is a change that I really like. Emory's been struggling to hold the ball up top, and if there's only one thing Madison Faniff is good at, it's holding the ball. Of course, that's not true. She's good at many other things.
Moore had it skip by her, and that'll be lost off the near side sideline by Carnegie Mellon. We'll have the throw in, and Darius, actually Bat will do so. Going back through Dresner and over through Darius.
It seems that Emory has combated the high pressure of Carnegie Mellon with throwing another of their players higher up, and I like that.
On the run, let's see, Moore. Moore trying to cross it in with the left foot, and that's swung out again by the defense off this near side sideline. A throw in for Bat and the Eagles. Again, the ball thrown in. Actually, we had a throw in, it looked like there by the young lady who was keeping the balls here on the near side. And so they had to get that off as Santee to the middle. Again, knocked loose.
Really well played out of the back here by Carnegie Mellon. It's those short passes that make it so hard to defend sometimes, and it makes it really hard when the attacking team goes forward as a unit to really know what they're going to do next.
Here's Maddie Liu on the run. Liu, a right foot, and a nice play in the middle there as that is put out by, it looked to be, I think that was Lily Dresner. It will set up, though, another corner. Seen a lot of these. This will be now the corner-wise 7th corner of the evening.
And we've seen some dangerous ones.
One thing Carnegie Mellon has had, at least on the advantage, has been these set pieces.
They seem taller somehow, which looking at the rosters, that's not the case. They've really been doing a great job of winning the ball in the air.
Left-footed corner, stays low, played out by Bat, and that'll be a throw in here on the near side. So the young lady who took the corner, no, won't take the throw in.
Looks like they're prepping for a long throw here. It'll be interesting to see how that ridge on the track impacts her.
And coming back all the way over here.
This is a set piece as well for them, it appears.
That looked like a long jump in the Olympics with that throw. A header goes all the way over to the far side. It looked like McCarter plays it over there, chipped forward, and off to the far side.
Not as long of a throw as I thought it was going to be with the way everyone was lining up.
So now the Tartans will change their mode of attack from near side wing to far side. Throw it to the back toward the end line, and it'll be again played out. Like Darius got a foot on it. Another throw in, but a little bit closer to the attacking third now for
another long throw setup. This can't be the same player though, can it? Did she run all the way across?
No, I don't think so. Change wings.
I wonder if they teach that long throw over at Carnegie Mellon.
Hard to see who it was. I believe it was Katja Brackelman's Puig over here on this side. That side can't really tell, although they've turned off some of the lights, so the glare is a little bit better for us.
Helped a lot. Now we just see reflections.
Actually, you know what? You are correct, Riley. That is, I did not believe they put her over there, but that's Katja Brackelman Puig. So she's doing the long throw again. That's the same player. And as it will be, time for a goal kick after the foul.
I wonder if the ball's wet and that's making that throw difficult for her.
Although the athlete named for the World Series tonight, right? Katja Brackelman Puig. Of course. Puig, the last name of one of the Dodgers players.
I was going to say, you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Okay, well. So we'll get you the golf explanation. We got you on that one. We'll get you into the World Series, too.
I know football, so that's good. Not college football.
So NFL references.
Yes, I can catch most of those.
Pittsburgh Steelers references.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Will Le'Veon be back? Who knows?
The storyline will play out.
During the Case Western Reserve game at 1:30 p.m. on Sunday.
Well, right now, a lot of midfield play as Darius taken away from her. That was nicely stripped away, but it'll lose it on the far side. Will the Tartans. So here you go. I have this question for you.
Ask.
Do you know what a tartan is?
Yes. So it's actually Scottish. It's what Scottish men wear for their dress clothes. And Carnegie Mellon, their mascot, is a little Scottish terrier or something wearing a tartan. It's pretty cute.
See, right on top of it. Riley Doak for the win. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. Hilsey coming back into the match, by the way, for the Eagles.
I've exchanged my own emails with Jan Struble back when I was trying to get recruited.
All right. See, I brought mine. Look, see? I brought a tartan today.
It's a bad call.
That is actually from Scotland.
Oh.
Yeah.
The only souvenir I have from Scotland is a bum shoulder, so
well,
can't say I had the same takeaway.
All I got was this lousy scarf. Now in the middle, the Eagles will try to mount an attack with Darius coming up and giving it a big boot. A little bit too far. Lurking. Looked like they were going to have maybe an attack from Moore. Couldn't do so. They also had Brescal, who did not start this match, as they'll play back to the keeper and Staffen. Has started, though, this second half.
That was a good ball by Staffen. She knew exactly who she was picking out with that.
Trying to get it to Moore, played away from her. Again, the defense has been good tonight for Carnegie Mellon, and they held the ball with possession most of the first half. But neither team, obviously, with the score still 0-0, has found the back of the net. Both teams have had about, one good, really solid shot that we both thought could have gone in.
I'd like to argue Emory had two, just because when that ball went over Carnegie Mellon's goalie's head, my heart was in my throat. I was ready for somebody to tap it in. Unfortunately, the back post runner wasn't where they needed to be.
Ticking down to about 10 minutes elapsed here in this second half of play. Brescal plays it over to her right side and gets it right back. Actually, that'll be Moore now on the run. Moore goes over to Fanoff. She's tripped up, and they'll play on. No whistle.
Wow. I'm not sure about that at all.
Looked to be like there was a foul. Ramsey now on the other side of it for the Tartans.
That should get Emory fired up, I think.
Moore into space. Moore, it will be a foot race with the back, and the Tartans will just swing it out here to the near side.
You can tell Carrie, well, hopefully I'm not wrong with this, Gus. It looks like she ran track with the way that she was striding out those last few steps.
Well, Camille Williams, the junior from Cincinnati, had to chase back, and she did get the step. It'll be Moore, though, to throw it in. Caroline Moore surveys the situation and will try to go inside into the box. Be flipped back out now. Ramsey with it for the Tartans.
And here's where Emory can really improve their game, is that's where they lock the ball in. Here they've done a good job. Carnegie Mellon had nothing to do with it, but that's where we saw them really lack in the most of the first half, for the 2/3 of the first half.
Headed back in the wrong direction for the Tartans, but as it's flipped out by the keeper, there's an opportunity there that Emory looked like maybe they could have capitalized on. Now Moore fighting for the header, again into space, but a little outpaced there.
These plays in the air are getting dangerous. That was just 2 headers by Emory players that were both met with some after-the-play contact.
Caroline Kolski now, really the attacker up front, a junior from Miami.
Jersey pool. I'm watching these now. They caught my attention with that no call.
Emory now, again, another solid offensive attack. A crosser.
Good ball.
And
Please,
it'll
yes.
find its way in. Kolski on the score, and the Eagles up by 1. I believe it was Kolski. We'll get an official confirmation on who that was. 13 was Caroline Kolski, her 3rd score of the season.
And I've talked about this with Sue for a number of times. All she wants is when they put that ball in the box to know who they want to be on the end of it. And that ball was perfect. There were actually 2 people on the end of it.
Carnegie Mellon must be having flashbacks a bit after they lost their last match at Nazareth 1-0. Because they had a match so similar to this where they controlled most of it but lost 1-0.
It's the first 5 minutes after a goal that I think are the most dangerous. It's easy to have a quick, well, easy, it's relative, but a quick counter isn't uncommon in soccer.
Kolski's score comes at 33:09, her 3rd goal of the season. She is now 10 points on the year. Through deflected, a tricky ball, and still it is kept alive by the Tartans as the defense cut in front there.
That was
back out smartly.
Critical header on that ball. I believe that was by Carrie Moore.
Brescal will swing it out of the box, will go across the center stripe. Kolski watches it get past her and go all the way to the keeper and bots.
See the pace that Carnegie Mellon is playing with right now. These are the first 5 minutes I was talking about after you score. They're really feeling the pressure now.
So they amp it up a bit.
Danny's
Staffen
caught
drawn
out.
out. She'll squeeze it. She was kind of in no man's land there.
She was. I was thinking about all those times I talked about her decision-making abilities, but she made that one work.
I think it was, if there's a such thing as body language panic.
That was it.
Yeah, Danny Staffen halfway got out there, and then you could almost tell like she thought, uh-oh, I stepped the wrong way.
I could hear her from up here going, oh, shoot.
Probably a little stronger than that, but yes.
No.
Okay,
It's Danny
okay.
Staffen. She doesn't.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, if there was anything that could make Danny Staffen curse, that was
That may have been
on
it.
the verge of it. But that was a beautiful recovery. It's 46 saves now. Add another one.
I think 98. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, we're gonna spot her some more there. Tell you what, those felt like 98 saves for her after getting out there and stopping that one.
She's had some 2 really quick reaction saves. She's kept Emory in this game.
Play it back through the keeper as Bots quickly away.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens because this speed of play isn't sustainable for anybody.
Now we've got about a half an hour, 30-30 right now on the clock to decide this one, and it'll be interesting to see if 1-0 will be enough. I mean, Carnegie Mellon, again, worth mentioning, they've only scored 2 goals all year in conference play, now in their 5th match. And, I mean, it's been just a struggle for them offensively, which is, again, surprising with what we have seen.
Yeah, it's, I'm not sure if maybe they're not good at finding the target or what the deal is, but they've certainly been a force up top with the pressure they put on Emory's defense. We've seen our fair share of games where Emory has 40 shots or however many shots they have and only maybe 4 goals to go with that. So you never really know what the scoring issue is.
Abby Kuznick comes in, number 17, a sophomore from Livingston, New Jersey. She'll come in for the Tartans as Emory looking to attack on that far side wing and into the flag. Kept
That's a lot
alive,
of
though.
effort there. Well done. Good turn by the Carnegie Mellon defender there.
The aforementioned young lady, Kuznick has it. Kuznick has it on the run.
Watch this run through.
Outside Staffen, nicely tucked
Really
away.
good communication by Staffen there. Her defender knew exactly what was happening. If that communication is not perfect there, really bad things can happen.
Taken away there, midfield, slipped off the foot of Breska after she was fed by Bat, but the Eagles still control. Bat's had a solid game on this near side wing.
She has. She's been playing hard. Necky's always consistent. She's consistently strong on the ball, consistently makes good decisions, consistently doesn't get beat, so it's really good to see her keep that up.
And Bat will have the throw in. And, of course, worth mentioning, she did have that injury early on. They didn't want to take her out, and she got looked at and came right back. And so I mean, it's good news for her that she is out there and fine. Also, Sophia Dillon will return, one of the starters, the senior from Rockville, Maryland.
I think Nikki must have gotten the wind knocked out of her is what happened, the way that she fell. I didn't really see what happened, but the quick in and out makes me think it was something temporary like that. Probably some bruises to go with it, though.
We can say this, it was not a soccer flop.
No. She was hit hard, that's for sure.
28 minutes on the nose. And one thing I guess is in the game, and they try to clean up, and you know, less I think at the women's game, the college level, but you will see it now and then. But the flopping can get in there, and I've seen it at the college level where it truly looks like somebody's really hurt, and then it doesn't happen. That was a legit injury when you see somebody come out like that, and luckily it wasn't too bad. Just getting official word there. It was Kolski on the score. The assist, though, they're going to credit to Abby McCarter. So that will be her 4th assist. And I believe is Bell coming back into the match, too?
Yep,
Yes.
for the aforementioned McCarter.
So McCarter gets the seat. She'll have now a dozen points on the year, 4 goals and 4 assists for her. But Bell back in with her team-leading 8th.
And I believe in the second half they're able to be subbed back in once they come out. It's not a permanent thing like it is in the first half. So we might see more of her yet.
Well, it's going to be interesting now that Bell's back in, because remember, Bell did not really get into the action much. And then there was maybe 2 possessions we saw her on that far side wing getting fed the ball. And then they took her out. And as soon as they kind of took her out, things started to pick up for the Eagles. And you wonder if maybe the defense will come back the way they played at the beginning for the Tartans or not. We'll have to see here.
We'll have to use the scientific method I learned here at Emory University.
Eagles up 1-0. So far the Eagles with 6 shots, the Tartans with 4. Brescow plays it through the middle, and now a loose ball trying to turn it forward. Dillon with a touch.
Oh, good touch.
Faniff plays it out to the outside. I believe that's Moore.
Ooh, Carnegie Mellon girl caught herself on Carrie Moore there. That would make me happy if I were her.
Through ball, and now into the middle in space, and finally now possessed solidly by the Tartans. So really, the Eagles have a fair shot at the postseason as they'll play it back through Staff and their keeper, and she'll be forced to swing it back out to the far side. But if they win this match, they'll improve to 11-4-1 overall. And
Respectable record.
Well, it is. I mean, you know, the conference record, they find themselves toward the bottom of the pack, and they would be 2-1 with a win. But it would, I believe, one of these wins, I mean, they're going to have to win out, it would look like, to get into postseason contention.
Yeah, the conference is especially tough this year. I don't think anyone for Emory is even looking at the conference right now. Obviously, they need to win these games and show that they're a good team. But it's really coming down to their regional ranking is at, I believe, number 7, which is really on the cusp of where they need to be. Winning out their games could really help them get those votes to get into the tournament.
Here come the Tartans past Darius. Darius will slip. They'll cross it. Staffing plays behind her, but a beautiful play on the back end. I believe that might have been Dresner back there, and she had a beautiful stop. Moore on the far side, loose ball, and it'll be in the direction of the Eagles.
Hard work by Moore to get that throw in for Emory. That's a really, really important play there.
You know, you mentioned the conference. There are 3 teams right now ranked in conference, 2 of which are in the top 10.
Yeah, forget about it. And those, I believe, are Chicago and WashU.
Yeah, WashU's 1 in the country, Chicago's 10, and Brandeis, they're 4th in the conference, and they're 13 in the country, which makes NYU probably scratch their heads a bit. I mean,
well, keep in mind, too, that Emory actually beat Brandeis.
Which is going to be a big help.
Yes, definitely. That was a really, really good win for Emory.
NYU, a solid conference record. If you're wondering why they are not ranked, they are too, but they are 8-4 and 3 on the year. Those 3 ties have hurt them. But you would think somewhere they get in the top 25.
Yeah, it kind of depends who you play, who your ties are against. If they're against lesser regarded teams, that might hurt you. So it's really just who's looking at the stats day.
Eagles trying to play it through, and that'll go off the end line. Was it knocked away, though?
Appears it was. Corner. I didn't see it, but I'm happy about it.
See who they'll send over for this corner. Paige Santee, it looked like, who was playing it through there and got it fired off.
That was nice. That the Emory player was just running to the ball and got blocked.
Looks like Brescow will take it. So Brescow, the right-footed in-swinger.
It's a good ball.
To the middle. They tried to get it to Bell. It was headed away from her, though.
And Shivani Bell there was looking. She was thinking, do I go for it or do I need to help out on back? And I think she made the right decision here.
And so far they have sustained that attack well, because as soon as you get everybody back there, Carnegie Mellon was off and running with it, and Emory did a good job falling back on defense.
I'm going to fight you on that there. Emory actually had 2 players with 4 Carnegie Mellon players. Everybody kind of stopped in the midfield when Carnegie Mellon didn't. I was very concerned about that situation.
That'll have the throw in here on the near side. The perfect Halloween last name.
What's that?
Nikki Bat.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. This is your time of year to shine with a last name like that.
I'd imagine she's never even thought of that. I'll have to tell her.
I mean, come on. It's good for costumes.
No costumes this weekend, that's for sure, with all these games. The Halloween weekend is ruined by Emory soccer.
Brescow has it taken away. Bell was trying to play it there as well.
Although if Halloween's on Wednesday, maybe they can take advantage of next weekend. Who knows?
There you go. Although then you're into
Rochester?
Then you're into Christmas. I got a cup of coffee today, and it was already a Christmas cup. I'm just saying.
Really?
Yep, it's happening.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll have a free kick here for Carnegie Mellon. They'll take it just over that center stripe. They trail 1-0. The Eagles with that score by Caroline Kolski at 33:09, her third of the season.
Carnegie Mellon plays really long plays. It's really interesting to see. They're literally in the center circle and have everybody lined up on the 18.
Barely get it to anybody, but they do just on that outside perimeter. And now as they'll try to play on the far side. The attack rejected by the defense solidly, and the defense has been under pressure quite a bit, have the Eagles. They've held up to it.
Yeah, that play looked very similar to their long throws where they reach the edge of where everybody's standing, but there's nowhere really to go from there.
Staffen again forced out, and again she just beats the attacker to the ball. Might have been Brooke crashing down. That is a big boot by Staffen, who gets it all the way across the center stripe. Dillon had a touch. Played back in the center now.
Man coming.
Frescal turns, trying to go to her left.
Oh, good. I'm glad that ball got through. That was a dangerous one.
Frescal. And now
Ooh,
Dillon.
That's a foul, sir.
Well, that could have been called. It should have been called. It would have been actually about a step outside the box, too, as Battle play it through Darius. But
seemed like an easy call to me. Not really sure what he saw.
I think sometimes officials get squeamish if it's close to the box because they don't want a PK maybe to give it that away. But that was a step outside the box.
It was outside the box. She got the girl didn't even touch the ball.
Well,
really just kind of stuck her leg out and pushed Sophia Dillon over it. So I'm not really sure what kind of soccer play that was.
Also, it's one of those where you get into it's like basketball where they say, look, a foul's a foul, but are you going to call a foul? Do things change in the final 2 minutes in a basketball match? Sometimes you'll see that in soccer where it's just outside the box or close to the box, and maybe they'll swallow the whistle a little bit. Really, they shouldn't, but it happens.
Oh, it does. And we saw earlier, actually, with the men's game, a weak PK was awarded to Carnegie Mellon as well. So I wonder if the refs maybe feel bad for them for traveling. I'm not really sure the theme going on. Of course, it's just been in a few plays. It hasn't been a consistent thing.
Well, time is starting to wane down now as Darius will take the throw in on the far side. We're about 18 and a half minutes left to play in regulation. 1-0 Emory with the lead. And you talked about that 5-minute period after the goal is scored. Well, all of a sudden now we're starting to get into a period where you get under 20 minutes, and that mounts even more and more now. The pressure on both sides,
right.
Not only the score, but of course on Emory to keep it a 1-0 lead.
Sure. If you're Carnegie Mellon, you're looking at the clock and you're saying, I have 18 minutes left. I'm going to give it everything I have for 18 minutes. That's nothing. In Emory, you're saying, we have 18 minutes left. How do we run this clock? Two very different mentalities.
Well, and Riley, as Emory trying to play it back through their defense here, what is the give and take? Because you still want to be an attacking team if you can, but you don't want to get caught, and then you don't want to get too conservative and give up, just start playing on your back foot and play defensively. So that's got to be hard for Emory to balance that.
I think in a perfect world, you just choose your chances carefully in the final third. So you possess the ball and you don't make any risky plays unless you have a good opportunity.
Far side, back and forth. Loose ball, Emory trying to corral it. They'll come through Dresner in the middle and play it to Bat here on the near side wing.
I'm not sure. Emory must have moved to 3 up top, and that's really opened some space for the midfielders.
So Bat will have the throw in at 17:05 and ticking. She'll look for some help. Who's going to come free? Goes all the way through to Sophia Dillon. Lost it there.
It's a good tackle in the center there. I believe Mahoney.
Lauren Mahoney, from a freshman from Brookline, Massachusetts. Get up in that greater Boston area. Told you about Ponte Vedra Beach. Brookline's not a bad golf course either.
I'll make sure I hit it on my golf tour.
Home of a Ryder Cup one year. Moving to the right. Emory now with Hilsey, had it for the moment. Back through Darius. She'll work back to Bat. Loose, and the defense again puts a stop to it just on the edge of the box.
That's the kind of ball you don't want to see from Nikki there 16 minutes in. Not to pick on her, but that becomes a 50-50 ball, and what was a good attack, what you had options, turns into defending in your own final third.
Now Carnegie Mellon's still in this. They've got a puncher's chance here at 15 minutes and 50 seconds.
Loads
now
of
by
time.
one, and
Great
Staffen
grab.
juggled it, finally hung on.
That was a scary ball. Good work by Carnegie Mellon to get forward. They got forward quickly, and they caught Emory a little bit out of position there.
Well, it is not raining, but it has been one of those days that I would say it's almost like the Pacific Northwest. It's been just cold, damp. It has been a bit miserable out today.
It's a good tea and soup day.
And it's very well put. And so the ball, I mean, I'm not sure how much moisture is left on the field, how slippery it is, but it could be a factor.
It seems like it's gotten wetter, which I'm not really sure why because it hasn't rained. I don't know if it's the nighttime dew or something setting in, but the field is not nearly as slow as it was when they started the game.
I'll tell you what, we look down on the field, which is that rubberized track surrounding it, and there's actually moisture you can see on the track, not standing water, but enough that you can see that track is moist. And so that would give you an idea how the pitch is holding up right now. It is partially muddy as that's off by Darius, and a throw-in upcoming for Carnegie Mellon. 14 and a half minutes left in regulation. Eagles up by 1. That score, of course, coming from Caroline Kolski. Assist from Abby McCarter. Down that far side sideline, Darius has had a busy night, too. Both Bat and Darius on their respective wings have been busy and active.
Yeah, they've had Carnegie Mellon's really centered their attack on the outside wings, and so those outside defenders have had to work really hard to make sure that they keep them in a non-dangerous position. Ooh.
Out of play.
Had that ball been in bounds, it would have been a nice 2v1 there for Emory.
Yeah, they were looking to try to get it to Bell, who was on that far side wing. And again, you know, since she's come in, a quiet evening.
I agree. I'm very surprised. I wonder if she just has that target on her and they've shutting her down. And if that's the case, Emory needs to recognize that and figure out who the open person is. Who aren't they looking at?
Well, you know, she gets that Player of the Week honor and 3 goals. You get that hat trick the last time out as Darius retreats and plays it off to the far side and a throw in for the Tartans. But that will raise some heads, especially on scouting videos. And I would say the game plan would be to shut her down. That is pretty apparent.
Field's definitely well. We had a slip there. I wish I could explain how that happened, but I quit my science education at Emory early.
So the earth sciences and the greater field.
Any sciences in general, I learned I was not very skilled at.
Well, that would be what, horticulture, I believe.
I don't think we have that here.
Okay.
Atmospheric sciences, maybe they cover that.
Our boy Nate running the scoreboard is taking those classes, so we'll have to check in with him. I can tell you about cumulonimbus clouds so far, but
That's a good start.
I'm not sure about on-field conditions, but we'll get there.
I think that class is actually a lot of math, so that took me out of that running.
Took me out of that too. Then be through there, and it will Emory. Right now, I mean, they're doing a respectable job of mixing.
Oh yeah, we all saw that coming.
Yeah, that had to be a foul. Hilsey got toppled over. Samantha Hilsey, sophomore from Windermere, Florida, just outside of the Orlando area. I won't give you the golf courses in Windermere, okay? I won't do that.
That was a hockey charge.
That was. I tell you what, that was an easy call to make. And
saw it from a
okay.
mile away.
Men's game got actually pretty physical.
I missed that part of it. I saw the 2-0 loss, which was unfortunate. Men just can't seem to make it work in the UAA this year. After a quick start, they're really struggling to get those wins at the end of the season.
Yeah, men's team, if you missed that earlier, they lost 2-0 to Carnegie Mellon and get a little chippy at the end.
Cocky Carnegie Mellon boys are actually down there watching. I imagine that was all them lamenting the call there.
We're ticking down to 11 minutes. And so this one becoming an interesting match in the respect that Now Emory has started to really control the second half, but when it's 1-0, any little misstep or misplay as Darius is fouled.
And stop the clock. Yep. Gonna have to give out some cards here, I think.
Yep, there is a yellow.
Just a bad play.
Let's see who that yellow is on.
And we talked about a little bit in the beginning, knowing Carnegie Mellon for their physicality and how that might play out in this field, and now we're starting to see that physicality is coming out. A little frustration maybe with 10 minutes left, down a goal.
Christian Chong, who came on just a little bit ago, a sophomore from Fullerton, California. Greater Orange County region.
I like that play.
So Chong draws the yellow, and still in the direction of the Eagles will have the throw-in on the far side.
The last person I would want to foul like that is Danielle Darius.
Darius, a solid 5'6". And you said she missed that one match for an injury, but so far other than that, as that'll get through almost in front of the keeper.
It's good opportunity created there by Emory.
The Eagles had a solid look on the back side if they could have slammed the door shut, and that would have been the end of the match for sure. Unfortunately, Fanoff just could not get there to put a foot on it.
We see a mass change from Carnegie Mellon. It'll be interesting to see how some fresh legs in the midfield impact the game. I'm sure they'll add their person up top with 9 minutes left and down a goal.
Yeah, you have to think this substitution would go more offensively for Carnegie Mellon.
They've switched to 3 in the back, it appears, so maybe Emory can take advantage of the lack of personnel and put one in.
Also, it looks like Emory has swapped Bell from the far side wing to the near side. So
they did that in the last game too, which is interesting because normally she plays on the left. I wonder if they put her on the right. It might have something to do with whoever's marking her or whoever's following her around.
Free kick here for the Tartans. Still announcing that line change. It was quite, I think 4 players came in for Carnegie Mellon. They'll play it back deep. Staffen watching it just over the crossbar. She backed up all the way into that net, and she was not going to let it go over her head.
At first, that seemed like a rash decision there, but when we saw how close it was, it really made me nervous.
Not a bad play from that far out. I mean, talk about putting it on frame and not missing by much. That had a chance. It almost came down at a perfect angle to sneak
right under.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you drop that down just over the keeper. That's tough to do. Here's Ramsey. Lost control, and the Eagles back on.
Great step by Samantha Hilsey.
Eagles will attack from the far side wing. Bell plays this near side. They flipped her over. They'll cross. Bell lurking back there, although she was a little too deep where that ball got headed back away. Bell now plays it off her chest. Swings back to Bat. Bat goes back to Shivani Bell.
Shivani on her right foot.
The Eagles
have numbers back, which I like to see.
Well, and they'll take that even though they don't get a shot off.
Yes, Nikki. Perfect tackle. That's exactly what you want to see.
Fanoff off
and a
to
great
her
ball.
Right.
The 2 roommate combination there, Nikki and Maddie.
Here's Moore.
Good tackle by Carnegie Mellon there. That's got to hurt.
Moore's still down.
Yep, that's that ankle.
Now she's up as Darius will take it on that far side wing.
Carrie Moore is tough as nails. She just shakes it off and keeps going.
Darius was tripped up, got right back to the ball, comes back to it, plays it now down that end line. Trying to keep it in bounds, does so successfully, swings it back. Nice defense, though, that will parry it away.
She's going to get to this ball, I bet.
Right now, the Eagles showing a good attack. Up by 1 with 7 minutes exactly left in regulation. Bat on the run.
I like Nikki taking the space here. She had a lot of room, and she made it difficult for Carnegie Mellon to know what she's doing next.
There's a solid left foot to Faneth. Now goes to Bell. Bell across her to the middle, headed back by the defense. Bat, though, the safety valve. Left-footed shot over the crossbar.
And to add my compliments to Nikki there, when you take your space like that, it draws the defenders away from your teammates, so it gives everybody a lot more room to work with.
Well, the best offense we've seen to this point has been the last few minutes, and quite frankly, it's been since that substitution came from Carnegie Mellon, where they substituted offense for defense. And you were right. They put 3 back instead of 4, and that has really helped the Eagles. They have looked solid now with the offensive mind of Carnegie Mellon instead of their defensive play, and they've taken advantage of it. Hasn't shown up on the scoreboard.
I'm really not sure how this has happened, but when they made that change and have fewer in the back, it seems that the outside defenders are able to get forward more, but that doesn't make sense from a numbers perspective. But we saw Nikki make a run forward, we saw Danielle make a run forward, and they haven't really had that opportunity for the rest of the game.
Five minutes, 40 seconds, and ticking. 8 shots now for the Eagles, 5 for the Tartans. To give you an idea, they had 3 shots early on in this match, and that was it for anyone. And they had 3 shots then at halftime. They've only had 2 shots then this entire second half. Loose ball, and that's knocked away. Still a ball that is in space that is a bit of an issue, but of course going on top of it and taking care of it is Staffen. Well, that was not cleared as well as maybe Sue Patberg would have liked, but still the senior goalkeeper did a fine job.
Not a great play, but that's what the defense is for. They're there to clean it up and stay on their men, their women, their players, and make sure that nobody makes any dangerous plays.
Darius out to the far side. So right back. Bill Schindler and Riley Doak with you here tonight. A 1-0 lead. If you missed it earlier, about 33:09 here in the second half has been our only score from Caroline Kolski. That's been your difference. It started out with Carnegie Mellon playing so well, the ball control and the offense. They look to be a much better team than their record would indicate, and then the Eagles seem to come back and have a solid finish to the first half, even though it was scoreless at halftime. Loose ball through. This will be an opportunity now to tie it. Carnegie Mellon plays it back. It's knocked loose in front of the goal and off of the near side post.
And the soccer gods are looking down on Emory.
Somehow that ball did not go in. Staffen, who watched it go from far side to near side, and again here comes Carnegie Mellon on the attack, deflected through. And boy, Danny Staffen has had 2 moments, I think, tonight where she has really had her heart skip a beat. That would be one of them.
My heart was skipping a beat up here on that one. That was really dangerous.
Both teams now even at 8 shots apiece. The throw-in will be Bats to give. Goes over the head of Bell. Knocked in the air by Brescow. Loose ball. Looked like Ramsey had it for the moment. That'll go all the way back in space, and they'll run some clock. Whoa. Well, there's been 2 of those. One that hit the crossbar. That one hit the near side post.
It's been a game.
Carnegie Mellon, those 2 that have been off the frame. That right there, those are a few inches either way. It's a 2-1 match.
Yeah, it's been they've definitely had their opportunities, and whether it's been a save that Danny's made or if they've just gotten unlucky, the ball hasn't gone in. So I wonder if maybe it's just the luck that's been plaguing them and making it hard for them to get on the board.
Also, credit Danny Staffen. She did have that save in space earlier. And again, here comes Carnegie Mellon.
It looks like they've gone to 2. Oh, potentially. No, they're still at 3 in the back, but they're really getting forward.
Nicely swung away by the defense of Emory for the moment, but still they keep it alive. They couldn't clear it. Still in the attacking third. Back outside. Bat with the header. And now as it's loose in a roll to the near side, it looks like maybe Fanef to track it down, and she's tackled from behind.
Good tackle.
Check that was Brescow, and she'll be tackled.
Yeah. Carnegie Mellon trying to pump each other up. Woo.
Bell
Didn't seem like
foul.
it had the effect that they wanted. Emory's going to take their time here with this kick.
Yeah, we're under 2 minutes, and you get now the $1.40 and change. Take your time, and that will help the ball. A loose ball comes through.
Whoops.
Lily Dresner takes it, drills it,
Oh.
and actually does not have to go off the side of her foot. Quick throw in.
Looked
for
like
the
a little
Tartans.
mishit there.
Bat, bell, and bat.
Really well done.
I feel like that should be a law firm of some kind.
Personal injury maybe with bat in there so many times.
Near side, and we'll go back through bell. Well, we hit the 60-second mark. A 1-0 lead for Emory, looking to hang on for the victory here. Both teams with 8 shots apiece.
You can hear the Carnegie Mellon men possibly trying to pump everyone up.
But a foul, and that will be Brescow going down, and will be committed, I believe, on Stephanie Ramsey of Carnegie Mellon.
I don't know what Danny's doing. Get back there, Danny. She's getting really excited. She almost looked like she wanted to take the ball. No.
Dresner over to Darius. They'll play down that far side wing, a little bit outpaced. The keeper, though, coming out.
And that's exactly what you want here.
Bots played it off that far side. 25 seconds. They're going to stop the clock here.
That's right. When the winning team subs, I think in like the last 10 minutes, 2 minutes, something.
Last 5.
You know, you're the scoreboard guy.
Last 5. Yeah, the team with the advantage in the score. Clock will stop when they substitute. Clock running again, 20 seconds. Still in the direction, though, of the Eagles. They'll take their time, throw in. This looks pretty good. Final 15 seconds. The Eagles are going to pull out a win here against Carnegie Mellon, a team that played very well to begin this match, but with a little luck, including 2 balls off the post and the crossbar, the Eagles with a huge win to keep their postseason hopes alive. The score from Caroline Kolski at 33:09, assisted by Abby McCarter, has been the difference. And boy, oh boy, Riley Doak, we saw a tight one this evening, a one that I think Sue Patberg maybe thought a little bit tighter than she would like.
That was a tough game, and just to add on to that, I also believe Danny Stafford was there to make the difference. She had some 2 really quick saves that were really necessary to keep Emory in the game.
So the Eagles improved to 11-4-1 overall, 2-2-1 in the conference. We will again see them in play on Senior Day. That's coming up on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. So tune in for that. That will be the next broadcast and the final home match. The Eagles will have 1 match remaining after that, where they'll go on the road on the 3rd of November at Rochester, New York. It'll be a cold one up there, but they need to kind of win out. Of course, the Tartans fall to 7-7-1 and now 0-5 in conference. Well, Riley, final thoughts on this one?
It was really great to see how, even though Emory started out slow maybe, or Carnegie Mellon started out fast, I'm not really sure which way it went, they were able to come back and win the momentum back and really take advantage of their opportunities. That's something that we've really harped on in the past, is Emory not finishing their chances. They've had maybe 2 good chances they didn't finish this game, but they really put it in when it counted.
Well, pleasure working with you, Riley. The Eagles with a big win here tonight, 1-0. For Riley Doak, I'm Bill Schindler saying good night. We'll see you on Sunday.